think there's been a lot of videos about spring perfumes already, but being that I live in the UK, we haven't really dipped far into spring yet. It's looming at the moment, but I have found myself reaching this last maybe week for things that lean a little bit more springtimey. So I figured now was the time to tell you guys what I'm excited about trying out or wearing. I've had some of these perfumes for quite a long time, but things that I might have bought either in summer or autumn and then just sort of thought to myself, well, these are just going to be way better in spring, and I've literally put them to one side. So some you won't have seen on my channel before, and others I just have been, I've talked about ages ago, but I'm looking forward to wearing them again. And then of course I've got a couple of new ones as well, because I'm always finding little bargains. And so we can start with the first one, which I did find as a little bargain. I think I got this on Latino for maybe about £12 or £13. This is Incanto Boum. This is the 2014, it says new edition, not to be mixed up with the band. This is a Salvatore Ferragamo perfume. I haven't had much experience with the Incanto perfumes. This is the first one I've actually bought. But there's a couple that I think look quite nice. I think Charms looks quite nice. I think that's compared to another perfume that I'm quite interested in, but I can't get hold of. So this one, super cute, very girly, quite kind of young bottle. I can still smell a little bit of this on here. Now this is a very, very pretty spring floral. It's not strong. It's its lasting power is average, I would say, but I think the warmer the weather gets, the better this one's going to be. So the notes in Incanto Boum, and I think this is the same for the old version as well. I think that they've put this in a new bottle, but the notes haven't changed. So the top notes are freesia and grapefruit blossom. The middle notes are tea rose, raspberry and champaca. Base notes are cashmere wood and musk. I think this smells like a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers, with rose being the dominant one. Yeah, it's just very pretty and spring-like. I think it's super lovely. Nice and rosy. Yeah, there's definitely a lovely rose about this. Now, I have a Superdrug perfume called, I think it's called Atelier Artisent, which are dupes. They've got one that's supposed to be a Chloe dupe called Spring Fleur. I actually have that perfume. I haven't put it in here because I'm not sure whether I actually like that one enough. That's a Chloe dupe. This one is more my kind of rose. There's just something about this one that is a little bit more comfortable for me to wear, and I don't know if that's because there's just a hint of raspberry, quite possibly. I do love freesia as well, so I think this one just really works for me. Super pretty, really like it. Not too sweet at all, that one. Okay, next up, let's have a little look. What have we got? Aha! So, this is a classic. Okay, let's have I'm going to give this one a little bit of a spray. This one I really haven't worn for quite some time. I got this ages ago. I do have a dedicated video about this if you want to know more. This is Forever Elizabeth by Elizabeth Taylor. This is the only Elizabeth Taylor perfume that I own. I have owned others in the past. I haven't really got on with any of them apart from this one. This is a beautiful springy fruity floral. So the notes in this are top notes of apple, green notes, blackberry and Italian mandarin. Middle notes tiare flower, Italian jasmine, rose, orchid and violet. The base notes are woody notes, sandalwood, white musk, clove and amber. Now I would say there is the violet comes through a little bit to me in a way that reminds me of like Stella Pop and another one that you're going to see in a little bit. But it's very appley. I get quite a lot of blackberry. It's voted as having tiare flower up the top after the apple, but there's some the green notes are lovely. The musk is really nice. It's not massively woody. It's just a very, very pretty light spring floral with a real appley vibe, and it genuinely does when it dries down. Once the violet starts poking its nose in, There's something about the green notes, the Italian mandarin and the violet, and the sandalwood to be fair, that really reminds me of a very easy to wear, appley, light Stella Pop. And Stellarpop is something that I don't normally wear when it warms up too much because it gets a little bit cloying to me. So this is kind of what I go for instead. It's got this, I loved it. It's got like this beautiful iridescent bottle. It's so cool. I really, really like that one. I highly recommend it, and it's such a bargain. And then we have, this one's a bit more expensive if you buy it new, but you can often get it on eBay. Oh, this is a syrupy green. This is a sweet and syrupy green fragrance by L'Occitane called Herbae. There you go, you can actually see it. This is the original Herbae. This one reminds me a huge amount of my old signature scent, which is called Le Belles de Ricci, Liberty Fizz. It's got really weird sounding notes. So the notes might put you off, but it doesn't smell necessarily how these notes would suggest because they're quite unusual. So top notes of bergamot, pink pepper and ambrette. Middle notes of nettle blossom, nettle, blackberry, rosehip and clary sage. Base notes grass, musk, honey, cashmere, wheat and coumarin, which is basically like tonka bean. So it's got a real sweetness. You can definitely sense as honey. There's a greenness, but the blackberry is quite strong, so it's really fruity. It's beautiful. It's quite a hard scent to describe. I would say there is a similarity between this and not only my old signature scent, but another one of my signature scents, which is a brocade perfume called Tomato Leaf and Blackcurrant. So if you can kind of get an idea for that kind of lovely, sweet, sort of berryish, fruity, slightly tart smell, mixed with something green and slightly herbal, the way that a tomato leaf is, and then you just add in some honey, like that's basically what Herbae smells like to me. And it's a beautiful perfume. I think I got that for about £35 on eBay, so I didn't pay full price for that because when do I ever pay full price for a perfume? I love a bargain. So this one I haven't worn for ages, and that is because I took a decant to work and it leaked in my bag and I got sick of the scent of it, but I might be ready to pull this one out again. This is one that you don't really need to reapply too much. So I'd say these two are both pretty light. You'd want to reapply them. This one, good 6 hours, I'd say, which isn't bad for L'Occitane. This one, I'm not sure I really would need to respray it until like the end of my work day. So I reckon you could get 6 to 8 hours out of this one. It's sweet, it's clean, it's fresh. And honestly, it reminds me a tiny bit of True Love by Elizabeth Arden, but it's less peachy and it's more bergamoty. So the notes here are top notes of bergamot, lily of the valley, cyclamen. Middle notes are yellow freesia, jasmine, ylang ylang, may rose. Base notes musk, moss, sandalwood, orris and tonka bean. Now this is actually quite sweet. You do get a lot of an explosion of bergamot when you first spray this, and then I think it's quite a musky freesia perfume. You definitely get some orris, you definitely get a bit of the sandalwood, but you definitely get tonka bean. I think there's probably ylang ylang because this is oddly like creamy, but this is a really fresh. I mean, it's maybe slightly soapy in a kind of bar soap kind of way, but it's not shampooy at all. This is, have I even said the name? This is AV. This is by Adrienne Vittadini. Adrienne Vittadini. And this is the original AV. Now, AV Glamour, the one that's exactly the same bottle but has a like a pink writing on it, that one, I have that one as well, but I'm getting rid of that one because that is like a kind of less sweet, more simplified, more floral, less fruity version of this. They're very, very similar. Well, it's been in my declutter thing, but I might try that again this spring, to be honest, and see how I feel about it. So take that with a grain of salt. I might be retrying the non-sweet version of this too. I'm gonna actually put this one over here because it's quite a big bottle, that, isn't it? Okay, so next up. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about this one. So this is new to me. This is Boum Savon by Jeanne Arthes. Now, I should say Jeanne, I think it is. Jeanne Arthes is a perfume company that I quite enjoy. I've got a few of their perfumes, but one of my old signature scents is a Boum scent, and it is green tea and cherry blossom. Now, you if you've been watching me, you'll have seen me talk about that loads. I haven't put it in this video because I'm excited to wear it all year round. This is one I've wanted for a while. Someone actually suggested this to me ages ago. So it means, like, I think Savon actually means soap. Yeah, does it mean soap or bath? I think it means soap. Oh my goodness, I'm instantly obsessed with this. Firstly, aren't they just the most charming little bottles? This is Boum. Love it. So they have these little bits that you clip on to stop it going everywhere. So this is such an amazing... It smells like you've just got out of a fresh bubble bath. It's amazing. I'm not sure this is one where the notes can necessarily describe what this smells like. So you've got top notes of almond, floral notes, and middle notes of water lily and lily of the valley, base notes of musk and jasmine. Now, I am a famous jasmine disliker. If it's too jasmine-y, I can't wear it. I don't like it. I do like almond. I don't like it if it smells like biscuity. I'm not mad for lily of the valley, and I'm not mad for water lily. But this, to me, doesn't really smell like those things. That it just... It, in a way, reminds me of something else I'll definitely be wearing this spring, which is Sarah Jessica Parker's Born Lovely. Now, that is a blackcurrant and freesia perfume that smells like a fresh out of the shower smell. This is just like that, but like bubble bath. It smells amazing on the skin. I'm instantly obsessed. I got this online. This is I think it's an old perfume, but it's only just been re-released, or at least I've only just been able to get hold of it. So I'm super excited about it. If you want to smell like you've just got out of a beautiful bubble bath, but you don't want it to be screechy, and you don't want it to be like too soapy, it's not shampooy. It's just the smell of heaven. It's almost the smell that you get when someone's having a steamy shower with just a really nice, clean smelling soap, you know? Also, it's compared to Glow. I do not think this smells like Glow. I think it could give you the same kind of soapy, clean feeling, but I do not think that Boum Savon smells anything like Glow. I can't wear Glow. The musk is way too heavy for me. It's a little bit screechy. The florals are way too sharp. This is not that. Oh my God, I'm so excited about that one. I think I might be the most excited about this one. Okay, so this is another one that I got in the Christmas sale. So this is a L'Occitane as well. I got this one in the sale. These 50 mils are about £25, so super affordable. I mean, you know, Boum, it's less than a tenner, I think, for that. It's amazing. So this is one of those classic perfumes that, firstly, yes, it needs to be warmer. So when I got this in the winter, I was like, it's maybe too shampoo. It's very shampooy. This is, how am I going to say that? I'm going to make a meal of it, aren't I? So it's L'Occitane Cerisier Etoile. I'm so sorry to anyone if you can speak French for the butchering I'm giving this. On paper, super shampooey. When you first spray it, quite shampooey. When it dries down, musk and cherry blossom. It's gorgeous. So the notes here are top notes of water flowers and green notes, middle notes cherry blossom, geranium and tuberose, base notes musk, white cedar extract. I don't find it very woody. When I first spray it, I can definitely get a sense for, I'd say probably like water lily, and I can definitely get a sense for geranium because it's quite dry, and I find both water lily, even though water lily is like a water flower, I tend to find that quite dry, sometimes a bit sharp. Geranium I find super dry, but it's really pretty. And then the tuberose, I think, really helps when this dries down with stopping it smelling too aquatic and too kind of dry and water lily-ish, you know. On the skin, musk, cherry blossom. I think there's a slight kind of roundness coming from that tuberose, and the green notes calm down. But man, this is going to be so beautiful. I'm just super excited about that one. So yeah, I didn't know whether this would be one I would keep, but I think I definitely will be keeping it. So that's good news. Now then. Oh, next up, this is so random. This cost me like £5. I'm just going to spray it out because this is a very unusual perfume. Okay. Oh, so hard to describe, but I've been holding on to this one. I don't know if I'm not sure if I've ever put this up on my channel before, but it's about time. This is, I think this is a 15ml bottle of a perfume by Orla Kiely, an Irish designer, who was very, very popular a few years ago, but I don't really see a huge amount of her stuff anymore. So I'm not sure. I think lots of her shops went into administration, unfortunately. But this is her namesake perfume, Orla Kiely by Orla Kiely. And it's fascinating. Now, when I first got this one, I was confused by it. It's got quite weird notes. But there is definitely something magical about this, and the more it dries down on your skin, the more magical it gets. It's fascinating, and I think spring is going to be the perfect time for it. So, the top notes are tea, fig, peach, bergamot. Middle notes are rose, Mexican chocolate, geranium, osmanthus, and white flowers. Base notes are Virginia cedar, musk, tonka bean, and sandalwood. So when I first smelt this one, I sprayed it, and I was like, yes tea, yes fig, there's a greenness to it, and then you really get that chocolate. You really can smell that chocolate, but it's kind of in the same way that Covet by Sarah Jessica Parker is kind of like a fresh, juicy smell, and then has the chocolate. That's what this one's like as well. It has this like earthiness and kind of slight creaminess from that fig, but I thought it got a bit buttery on my skin when I first sprayed it, and so I do wonder if there's maybe some kind of gardenia or something in that white flowers, but it dried down a bit more. It's a bit woody. You definitely get some wood, but it's not wood that upsets me, and I'm very fussy about wood. I think I can definitely smell some rose in this. It's dry again, like there's that geranium, definitely makes things dry. But because of the fig and the tea and the chocolate, this kind of really works to be quite dry. And the peach, I think the peach and the bergamot is stopping it from becoming like unbearably dry. But I'm really looking forward to testing this one out because I got it when it was cold, and I just thought there's no way that I'm going to be able to really work out how good or bad this one is, but I think it's going to be a good one, so I'm quite excited about that as well. I'm excited about a lot of these because there's so many that I haven't talked about before. I've got to make sure I don't drop that down the back of my drawers because and also it'd be good if you can see it a little bit. There you go. All right. Yes, I'm definitely excited about that one. Oh, this tiny wee baby. Okay, so this is another one. This is Philosophy. This is Amazing Grace Magnolia. I've just got a tiny little 15ml of it because I got it for an absolute steal. I think it was probably about £5 or £6. I'm not a massive fan normally of Magnolia, but because this was so cheap, I just thought I'd try it. And it's such a small bottle, so easy to store, doesn't take up space. And as spring was, coming up, I thought I might as well try it. This is definitely one of those that on skin is suddenly very pretty. So the notes here are bergamot, nectarine, and middle notes are magnolia and violet, base notes musk, driftwood, and amber. Now there's nothing in this that would suggest any kind of sweetness, but there is definitely a bit of a sweetness to this. Yeah, it's a really pretty kind of bang in the middle, not too sweet, but not too screechy, not too sharp. Very pretty spring floral. I think the violet is making this magnolia kind of more beautiful, which is really impressive, but I just think it's so pretty. So another one I'm really excited to wear because I just genuinely, there's some here that I just haven't done a full wear test of yet. I've worn them to test them, but I haven't properly worked out how I feel about them. I'm so excited. So this one I'm excited about because I already loved it, but then it quite quickly got cold. And this is not a perfume to wear in cold weather. Gosh, this is beautiful. This is Elizabeth Arden White Tea. This is the Eau de Parfum version. So the notes here are top notes of clary sage, Italian mandarin, C notes, middle notes white tea, jasmine, rose water and mate, base notes musk, amberwood and tonka bean. So I think on the website they talk about the rose, and there's a few different roses I think, and it's like recycled special rose water, and the tonka bean, I think they describe it as being a sun-dried tonka bean. So if you know what the original white tea smells like, if you imagine that original white tea, a bit stronger, lasts a bit longer, it's definitely sweeter, it's less woody, and there's a fair bit of rose in this. I think of this as a rose perfume. On me, it smells like a beautiful, clean spa rose water smell. It's beautiful, it's pretty, it's rubbish in cold weather. It just cannot handle like the coldness because it's not massively strong. It's a very gentle and soft, your skin but better kind of smell. So I'm super excited about wearing this one. This is one that well, I said he bought it for me. My husband gave me the money for it because he said, "Oh, I'm going to treat you to a perfume, but well, you get it. You know what you want, and I'll just." I'm better at searching for things, finding bargains than he is. I think I got it from Debenhams for about £25, and I think it's still about £25 most places, which is a bargain. Then we have one that I haven't worn for ages. A beautiful, peachy, pretty pure osmanthus perfume. This is Hugo Boss, and this is the scent Pure Accord. So I've had many of these perfumes. I think I've had like 5 maybe of the Pure Accord perfumes, or at least I've had maybe at least 4 full bottles, and then I've had like samples of some of the others. The only ones that have remained are the intense version, which is that beautiful, it's like peach sprinkled with a bit of chocolate. And I'm very fussy about peach, but I think the peach is really well done in the scent perfumes. And then this one, which is top notes bergamot, middle notes osmanthus, base notes musk. It is a musky, beautiful osmanthus perfume. It's perfect for spring. It's really simple. It's a very excellent office kind of perfume. In fact, to be honest, I think most of these are great for office perfumes. I could probably just name this office safe perfumes and it would be pretty much the same thing. So beautiful, a really easy wear, I'd say, unless of course you don't like osmanthus, in which case obviously it's not an easy wear, but you know what I mean. Okay, am I safe? I've got too many perfumes to fit in my videos. Always the way. And this one's not going to make it any easier because it's such a weird shape. This is... I'm going to actually spray this one out. I haven't worn this for ages, but... Oh, it's beautiful. This is Florever by Agatha Ruiz de la Prada. It's covered in my fingerprints. I do apologise. Weird little bottle. Quite a weird perfume, to be honest. Gorgeous colour. So, the notes here are top notes of yuzu and tea, middle notes of wildflowers, magnolia, ginger and pink pepper, base notes of musk, hinoki wood, cedar and amber. I'm pretty sure there's some jasmine in this. I definitely get that ginger. I get some warmth from the pink pepper, but it's not... I'm pretty fussy about pink pepper. I quite often don't like it. And I find sometimes it totally ruins a perfume for me. So this one I can live with. But the tea is beautiful. The yuzu is beautiful. The hinoki wood gives this a really unusual smell. And I'm really enjoying the smell of it. I'm super excited to wear this again. It's just fresh, clean, floral, but it's unusual. It doesn't smell like my other tea perfumes. There's something, unique about this one. It's extremely pretty. It's really easy to wear. You can get it for like 20 quid for the 80ml. I think this is the 40ml. I really like this. I think it's gorgeous. But again, it's one that's quite hard to describe. And when I first smelled it, weirdly, it made me think of Cabotin de Grès, and I think that's because it reminds me, like, there's something jasmine-y about it, but then it has that gingery vibe with like the greenness from the green tea. And and it so it kind of made me think of the ginger lily in Cabotin, but it's super pretty. I really like it. So I'm gonna have to move this one properly out of the way while I do the next, and hope that my focus is still all right. I've got too many to put on here. If you've seen my Rose video, you'll have seen this already. This is Rose Calisson by L'Occitane. This is another one I got in winter in the Christmas sale. Got it for 25 quid for a 50ml. This is a lovely, also quite unusual rose perfume. Let me have a sniff. Oh, psyched to wear this one. I can't wait. So, another beautiful bottle, as you can see. It says Rose Calisson down the bottom, but it kind of gets a bit lost because of the thick glass base. So, top notes of nectarine, mandarin orange, and middle notes of damask rose, May rose, and orange blossom. Base notes Calisson de Eau, I think it's de Eau, and Virginia cedar. Calisson de Eau are little French biscuits with like white icing on top. They're kind of, in my view, they're more like a paste than a biscuit. They're more like a kind of marzipan-y thing, so it's like a sweet almondy smell. So this is basically, when you first spray this, and in cold weather you get a ton of very sharp, not too ripe nectarine and a bit of mandarin orange, and then you get a kind of bit of sweetness, and you get quite a lot of rose, and it's a L'Occitane classic rose. In warmer weather, so I did test this recently when it was a bit warmer, and I was just getting so excited because I know this is really going to shine as soon as the weather turns. You get way more of that kind of almond pasty smell, that's beautiful sweet marzipan-y smell. The nectarine kind of calms down, and the rose is just glorious. So it's a really great one. You can still get it on the website, but as I said in my rose video, 100% make sure that you have a look on eBay if you want to buy this, because you will be able to get it for cheaper than the £50 that it normally costs. So yeah, that's an absolute stunner as well. Gorgeous. Don't know how I'm going to arrange all of these, but here we go. I have already worn this one because I got all overexcited. I couldn't wait. This is, again, I'm just going to have to move all these right out of the way. This is Ted Baker. This is XO Extraordinary Woman. This is the original Extraordinary Woman. So you can see it's this gorgeous purple liquid as well. This is my favourite tuberose perfume, basically. I don't really need any other tuberoses because I really like this one a lot. And that is because it's just so easy to wear. So, top notes, African orange flower. Middle notes, tuberose, gardenia, jasmine. Base notes, heliotrope and musk. Now, this is a fresh, watery spring tuberose. It is the kind of bubblegummy tuberose that I get in Christian Dior Poison. And also, to be honest, in things like, is it L'Emperatrice? Have I got that right? And Armani My Way. It's got that bubblegummy tuberose, but without all of the sweetness from My Way, and without the horrific patchouli that you get in L'Emperatrice. So it's really easy to wear. It's almost entirely tuberose. There's something very juicy about this, as if there is something, I always say kind of watermelony, in that it feels like there's a juiciness to it that's come from incredibly watery fruit that wouldn't necessarily be a recognisable fruit. Like, I wouldn't say, oh, it smells like pear, or it smells like, melon, or any of that. It just has this kind of fresh wateriness to it, even though it doesn't list any fruits. And in the dry down, the heliotrope gives you like a slightly heliotropy, almondy sweetness. So it's a sweet perfume, but it's not sugary at all. It's not vanilla-y. It's just a really easy to wear tuberose. I really like it. I think like the Dior Poison perfumes are kind of like, this could almost be like a Dior Poison Eau Fraiche, it could be that kind of thing. That's the vibe it gives me. But yeah, I really, really like this one. You can get it for super cheap, and I think it's a great perfume. Another one I'm going to have to move because I've got 2 left, and I'm very much running out of space. So, I'm so excited about these guys. I've had these for ages, and I haven't managed to get up my review. I have actually done reviews of them, but they haven't gone up yet, so there's not really much point now because I'm going to talk about them here. Oh, Okay, this is Hugo Boss, and this is Hugo Woman Eau de Parfum. So Hugo Woman Eau de Parfum. This has like a cool bottle with like a red streak around it. Hope you can see. Another tea perfume, which is what drew my attention to it in the first place. Now, this is another perfume that when I smelt it, I thought of Stella Pop, which is very random because it doesn't have a huge amount of crossover at all in what the actual notes are. This is a perfect office scent. It's a really good signature scent. The notes here are top notes of bosenberry, Italian mandarin, grass, middle notes plum, black tea, jasmine and iris, base notes sandalwood, amber and cedar. I don't get loads of cedar. There's definitely a warmth. I'm surprised there's no vanilla listed here because I feel like when it dries down there's a vanilla-y vibe. The bosenberry is such a specific, interesting fruit. The other thing that I have that has bosenberry in it, well, apart from the next thing you're going to see, is Justin Bieber's The Key. And that is a lovely, lovely shampoo-y fruity perfume. But it kind of stops being generic, partly just because I think it's a great perfume, incredibly well made. But because that bosenberry is quite an interesting perfume, like note, it's quite an interesting berry. It's got like a syrupy sweetness, almost I think in the same in that, like a kind of just vanilla-y sweetness to it. It's just delicious. But the grass and the tea with these kind of fruity notes and the jasmine and iris, and the jasmine isn't too strong for me in this, thankfully, mixed with a sandalwood that is very much like the one in Stella Pop. I think this is just such a pretty perfume. I've been super excited about wearing this. I just can't wait. So that is Hugo Boss. It's Hugo Woman Eau de Parfum. Yeah, it's such a lovely one. And to finish off, I have its flanker. Oh, so beautiful. This is Hugo Woman Extreme. I don't know why it doesn't say Extreme on it. It's really annoying. It's got text around here and then some on the bottom. But this is in a pink bottle with pink liquid. This is the extreme version, and people will say like it's not extreme. I think it's just a very it's kind of sharper because there's more berry in it, but it's also not as kind of vanilla-y sweet as Hugo, the original one. This one just has way more bosenberry in it. So the top notes here are bosenberry, grass. Middle notes are black tea and jasmine, and the base notes are osmanthus. So you've got that slightly peachy osmanthus in there, which is, I think, probably more dominant than the jasmine to my nose. You've got a greenness from the grass, you've got that aromatic black tea, and then you've got a very syrupy but slightly sharpened bosenberry. It's got a sherbety quality to it, this one, in a way that the original Hugo does not have a sherbety vibe. It's really fruity, but it's quite grown up, you know? It doesn't smell like a kind of kid's perfume or like a celebrity perfume, but it's very noticeably got a berry note in it. And again, it's very noticeably bosenberry. And this is one, maybe the same as the original Hugo, but more so the Hugo Extreme. It doesn't get very well reviewed, and I do not understand it. It's not laden with patchouli. It's not laden with ridiculously sweet notes. It hasn't got loads of vanilla in it. It hasn't got wood in it. It's got a really, although to be honest, it's probably got sandalwood in it, but it doesn't have that kind of hardcore, overpowering sweetness that a lot of fruity florals do. It doesn't have like the woodiness that a lot of fruity florals do. It doesn't have a fruit chewy vibe. And therefore, to me, this is quite an interesting, sweet, fruity springtime perfume. I think it's stronger than the original Hugo, and I think that's probably part of the whole Hugo Extreme, Woman Extreme. But I really just think it's a lovely one. I've actually just got Just realised I've got 3 L'Occitane, and that makes sense because, let's be real, L'Occitane does amazing perfumes for spring. They're very floral, they're super pretty. But I've also got 3 Hugo Bosses, which is not something that I'd really considered, but I've got a few Hugo Boss perfumes, and they are one of the few perfume houses that quite often makes sense that don't have tons of like wood or tons of patchouli, and that makes me very happy because I don't really like those things very much unless it's sandalwood. So yeah, I am super excited about wearing loads of these perfumes. I will try and work out how to take a photograph of these in a minute, but I've got so many here. But yeah, I hope that this was helpful because these are all pretty affordable. I think the most expensive ones here are the L'Occitane, and again, they're normally about £50, but you can get them for cheaper if you get them on eBay or if you just wait for a sale. But you can definitely, I mean, I know I've got Herbae from eBay, and I've definitely seen Cerisier Etoile, and I've definitely seen Rose Calisson on eBay, so you can get those easily. And then after that, probably you're looking at about £30 is the most expensive, so they're all super affordable, all beautiful for summer. I am already chomping at the bit to wear some of these, and I'm telling you, I'm going to wear that Boum Savon, that soapy Boum. I'm wearing that at the weekend. I just can't wait.